guys, so I'm here in Washington at home and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to show you exactly what gear worked for me while I was on the CDT in the state of New Mexico. So let's get into it. First of all, I have my bag completely packed up. It does not have any food or water, but it has all the gear that I used in the state of New Mexico besides that. I thought that I would just go through each item, like unpack my bag and go through each item one by one. Okay, so first of all, for the majority of the trail, I think all the way until almost Cuba, New Mexico, I used, which was about 500 miles, I used the REI Trail 40 backpack. I definitely don't think it's specifically made for a thru hike, but as I guess a seasoned thru hiker, because I've done one other trail, I felt confident in my ability to kind of use whatever felt good. I picked this pack up at an REI garage sale for like $40. Last minute decided to use it on the CDT instead of my Z-Packs Arc Scout that I used on the PCT. The top has a zipper pocket, and in this pocket I like to keep things that I need throughout the day. So I like to keep my hat, my sun hat that I used. This is a Brooks, like, really light running hat. I really liked this. It was comfy and light, but it didn't have quite enough sun protection, so I kind of knew that I wouldn't be using this hat for the whole trail. Next, I would keep my either glasses or sunglasses in this top pouch. I like to wear my glasses on the trail. I don't need them all the time, but they help me see details like really well. So I usually am always wearing either my glasses or my prescription sunglasses on the trail, and then they're either one or the other in this pouch. Next is my mask for town. Oh, yep. Next is my sunscreen and my spot device. And that's it for everything I keep in this top pouch. Additionally, on the outside of the pack, we have my sun umbrella. So this is an ultralight umbrella that I got for the desert on the PCT. This is how it opens, and then you just kind of like snap each little toggle. It's getting a little worn out. It's usually easier than this. So this is my sun umbrella. I absolutely loved having this on the CDT in the desert, especially in the boot heel. I would take this, and when it wasn't windy, the wind does like blow it all over, and then you just have to give up on using it. But it wasn't always windy, and those are often the hottest times when it's like there's absolutely no wind, the sun's bearing down on you, and it feels so good to have some shade. So I would absolutely bring the umbrella again. It also pairs perfectly well, let's see if I can balance this, with my ground sheet. So this is a Tyvek ground sheet. I just ordered it off Amazon from 6 Moon Designs. It's exactly the length and width of the base of my Z-Packs Duplex, which is the tent I carried. And I would just, as soon as I would get to camp, it was so flat and there were pokey things everywhere. I would just kind of clear everything off and then lay this out and then lay under my sun umbrella, and it was just like pure bliss. So I love these two things together. And I definitely wouldn't change them in New Mexico. The next thing on the outside of my pack is my sit pad. This came from a full-length Thermarest Z-Lite sleeping pad. I used to use a Z-Lite to sleep on, and so I just cut off the bottom when I stopped sleeping on one, so that I could always have a nice sit pad. I like carrying this. It feels worth it. I don't always take it out, but it's nice to have on breaks, and it's nice to sit on. It's nice just to have, like, it's just nice to have. to keep my bandana or a bandana on the outside of my pack for snot and sweat. And so I'll usually be like, okay, this corner, like the longer corner is the snot corner and like the upper portion is for sweat, or I would just try to keep it like some distinction there so I'm not like wiping off my sweat with dry boogers. That might have been too much information, I don't know. So, and then I normally keep four smart water bottles on the outside of the pack. And now for the inside. Okay, so this pack just like opens really wide. You just like pretty much just open it all the way. First thing is my puffy. I usually wear this for the first like 30 minutes to an hour in the morning until I get hot, and then I just shove it on top of my pack. In the pockets, I keep my beanie, which is an outdoor research beanie. I will always backpack with a beanie, even if it's blazing hot out. I love having the beanie because I just get cold, even when it's blazing hot, like at night. In the other pocket of my puffy, I carry gloves. Also will always carry gloves because I do not like it at all when my hands are cold. So always carry gloves. These are just like mid-weight, lightweight North Face gloves. They're not too thick, they're not too thin. I need to cut off this tag. I've been meaning to do that. It's a Montbell puffy. I used it on the PCT. It has down in it and it works really well. I have enjoyed using it. Okay, next, I carried a Rab ultralight rain jacket. I don't know if I can actually call it a jacket because it's so thin. It's like a rain and just wind cover. This worked so well. It provided an extra layer of warmth that night. These are Enlightened Equipment rain pants. They're very, very light. It didn't rain enough for me to really use these in New Mexico, but it did. There was some like hail and a little bit of snow, and their main purpose for me was just an extra layer of warmth. I would wear them at night along with my rain jacket sometimes when it was really cold and I just felt like I needed some extra coziness. Okay, so next is like my little clothes bag. In my clothes bag, I keep a buff that I use only for my pillowcase. So I kind of drool a lot when I'm out in the woods, and so it's important for me to be able to keep my pillow clean with a pillowcase. So I use this buff as my pillowcase. I brought a little scrunchie just to keep things fun. I did bring along one pair of shorts. I didn't wear these on the trail. I don't like wearing shorts on trail. I'm just never really that comfortable getting my legs so dirty and having my legs exposed to the sun and everything. So I don't normally wear shorts on trail. I did wear them in town when I was doing laundry. I don't think they're 100%, they're definitely not necessary for me, but they are light enough and thin enough that I would carry them again. Next is my Cuddle Duds sleeping shirt from Walmart. I got this for the PCT. I wore it every single night on the PCT, and it's like in great condition. I wore it every single night in New Mexico on the CDT. For my sleeping bottoms, I have been using this pair of Patagonia. I also wore these every night on the PCT, and every single night in New Mexico on the CDT. I will continue to wear these. Brought along 2 pairs of Injinji toe socks. One pair would be on my feet, and the other pair would be in here. So there's that. And then also I brought 3 pairs of Darn Toughs. 1 pair would be on my feet and 2 pairs would be in my bag. I brought along an extra bandana that I actually cut in half. So I have another one of these that I would carry in here. I don't know where it is at the moment. And I would use this under my cap I think if you saw some of my videos, I would just put it like this or like this and then put it under my hat for some extra sun protection. It's just nice to have an extra cloth in case you need to clean something. So I enjoyed bringing 2 bandanas and cutting one of the bandanas in half, so I actually have 3. And finally, in this bag is some undergarments that I won't share on camera, but I did carry multiple pairs of undergarments that I would hike, some that I would hike in and some that I would sleep in, and then 1 extra undergarment top to switch out. And that I always pack all those clothes in this little baggie. My legs are falling asleep sitting like that. Okay, next in my bag is my giant ditty bag. So most of the trail I kept all my small ditty bags in this big ditty bag so that I could just shove it in and keep it organized and never be digging through to look for something small. Inside this pack, I would have my potty pack, which has wipes, tissues, and my trowel, and then also a Ziploc bag for dirty tissue. I did not bury my dirty tissue. I would wrap it up in clean tissue and then put it in the Ziploc bag and carry it out. I highly recommend doing that because in New Mexico, the soil cannot decompose the trash or the toilet paper like other trail soil can, like on the AT. And I don't know, I started packing out my TP on the PCT, and I think I will forever pack out my TP because I hate the idea of coming upon TP in the woods. So I feel like we may as well do our best with leave no trace and pack it out. Next in my ditty bag is my electronics bag. In my electronics bag, I carried my headlamp, which has it's a Petzl Actic, and it has a rechargeable battery. So I could always know that if I ran out of light, I could recharge it with my battery banks. 2 battery banks, 1 Rav Power 10,000 milliamp and 1 random brand 6,000 milliamp. So I carried both of these for New Mexico, and if I did it again, I would probably I would switch the 6,000 for another 10,000. Next, I carried my AirPods. This was just kind of an experiment because I owned these, so I was like, well, I'll bring these and my cord, like my headphones that have a cord. So I brought these and these. When I wanted to conserve battery, I would not be using these, but if I was on a short section and I felt like using them, I would use these. I brought along so many cords, 3 USB to I think USB-C cords, and 1 USB to lightning cord, along with a iHome plug that has 4 power outlets. So I could use 1 plug and plug in all 4 of these cords and charge all 4 of my main items, which would have been my 2 battery banks, my headlamp battery, and then my phone. And obviously the AirPods was like lowest on the list of needing to be charged. I would also carry this just in case this failed and I was somewhere that I needed, that I couldn't get another one of these. So just as a backup, I carried both of these. And I carried it all in a Ziploc bag. Next in my ditty bag is my first aid kit and my daily hygiene kit. The first aid kit has, you know, Band-Aids, Leukotape. Actually, no Leukotape in here. The Leukotape I brought ended up like sticking together and not working out, so I just gave up on Leukotape altogether, and I only have KT tape in here. I have some lotion because my hands would like crack and it was like so bad. Some Neosporin, and nail clippers. basically just like your general first aid kit things. And then in my daily hygiene, you know, my toothbrush, hairbrush, toothpaste, lip balm, and then I also keep my bug head net in here and some gear repair tape. So that's that for this little ditty bag. Put this here. And I also kept a journal marker, permanent marker and permanent marker pen in a Ziploc bag. And the last thing in this ditty bag is my water system. So if I was planning on filtering water that day, in New Mexico sometimes you're getting water from caches all day, so I didn't always need this readily accessible, and that's the days that I would keep it in here. Otherwise I would keep it on the very outside of my pack. And in this pack I have a Sawyer, a Sawyer squeeze bladder that I use a hair tie to keep it all wrapped up nice and tight. And then I also keep a little pouch with an extra water bottle lid in case I ever lost a smart water bottle lid. 2 of those, and also some little washers that go underneath the Sawyer. So if this gets lost, which is underneath the Sawyer, and it does happen sometimes, the Sawyer will not seal between your dirty water bottle and the Sawyer. So very important not to lose these and to have extra. So I carry extra of those, and that's what's in my water system pouch. Next is my Z-Packs Duplex. I absolutely love this tent. It is nice and light, and it's kind of bulky for one person. Like I could be carrying a one-person tent, but I do like how spacious it is, and I usually just throw my stuff inside the tent without worrying, you know, too much. Kitchen trash bag with my quilt in it. This is a 20-degree enlightened equipment quilt, and I, again, absolutely love this thing. I used it for the entire Pacific Crest Trail, and it has worked out so well. Oh, it's the, not the Revelation, it's the Enigma. So it has a closed foot box, and one of the sides of the quilt is completely open, and it just clips together. So what I like to do is I actually slide it underneath my sleeping pad. My inflatable sleeping pad. And it works out really, really well. And then I'm just like a little taco burrito in here, and my quilt stays in one position while I can like roll around on the inside. And so I think that's what I like most about it compared to a traditional sleeping bag. The next thing is my Sea to Summit ultralight pillow. They are like game changing for your sleep. So highly recommend carrying a pillow, an inflatable one. Nearly last, but not nearly least, is my Thermarest inflatable sleeping pad. This is only like 3/4 length. Okay, last but not least is my poncho. There's a pouch at the bottom of the pack that I forgot about where the poncho stays. It doesn't seem like all that necessary. I only used it once, and it wasn't even for that long. So maybe I want to bring it. I don't know. Probably unnecessary. If your pack cover is lighter and less bulky, and if you have a rain jacket you really feel secure with, I would say skip this. My rain jacket is so thin that I like the extra comfort of carrying that. So that's it. That's everything I carried in New Mexico. And my shirt and leggings that I also wore were amazing. I absolutely loved it's in the wash, but it's an Outdoor Research Astro sun hoodie, and I cannot believe I hiked in anything else. Like, it is so comfortable. It has the half zip, which makes it nice because you can air out. And it has the sun hoodie, and you just like, the sun hoodie is nice for wind protection. Like when it's like blowing, it's like you can just put on the hoodie and feels so good. So, and it's like soft and nice. It was a really, really good purchase for the CDT, and I'm really happy that I made it. And then my pink leggings with the stars, those worked out great. They were just like a cheap pair from Marshall's, and I would wear those again. So I think that's about everything, and thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful and not too repetitive from my gear video at the start of the trail, but I just wanted to give you a little update. Oh yeah, and obviously my trekking poles, love these things. They're the Black Diamond carbon cork, and I use them on the PCT, and I will keep using them. So, thanks again. See ya.